Well, hi Sagittarius. Welcome to Universal Guidance Tarot. It's time for your weekly reading. I have shuffled these cards very well. I'm going to shuffle them a few more times. This is a two-part reading. The overall energy of this reading will be in the middle of the first part of this reading. Sagittarius, let's find out. One more shuffle. That just didn't feel right. Let's find out what you can expect coming up in your life. There you are right there, Queen of Wands. Male or female? Ooh, and the King of Wands. Wow. Okay. Sagittarius, the overall energy of your reading. The Five of Cups. This is disappointment in love. This is looking at the spilled cups in love. Your cups have been kicked over before. Cups are love. I call this the card of hope because there's two full cups behind this figure. So turning around, seeing the full cups is the card of hope. There's always hope. There's still love out there for you. So right now, it just feels like you're kind of looking at the spilled cups. Your disappointment in love. Up here in your highest energy is the Five of Wands. You're confused, you're stressed, you're anxious. Your mind is like all over the place with the Five of Wands. And it has to do with love. So the Five of Wands and the Five of Cups are the two highest energy cards in your reading. So I feel like you're just kind of confused. And I know I can see why you're confused here. Because you're busy looking at the spilled cups of love. But there's someone special in your life. The Lovers is right above the Five of Cups. Now, the Lovers, this is the card for Gemini. Gemini might be strong in your chart, might be strong in somebody else's chart around this reading. But the Lovers is a divine soulmate connection. You've been lovers in another life. That's a very powerful connection. There might have been something that went down with whoever it is that we're talking about. But I feel more like we're getting into the scenario of you busy looking at the spilled cups. Someone enters your life, which is, and I don't know if you knew this, is a divine soulmate, been a lover in another life. And it's like your guardian angels and spirit guides here are trying to bring you two together. So, you're stressed. You're anxious. You're confused. You got somebody in your life and you're like, wait a minute, I've been looking at the spilled cups and now here's somebody in front of me. Do I want to turn around and look at the full cups? You might want to. Let's read on. Next to the Lovers is the Queen of Cups. There you go. There you are, trying to figure it out. This is water energy. This is Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. It might be strong in your chart. It might be strong in somebody else's chart around this reading. But you're trying to figure it out. This cup is the only cup in the whole deck that has a lid on it. And what you're trying to do is peek into those little windows on that cup because that cup's full of love answers. Answers to love questions. So you have questions about the love. You're trying to get your answers. Your mind is really on trying to figure this out. It's an emotional card. Look at all the water around the Queen of Cups' feet. So you have this person in your life, a divine soulmate, a lover from another life, a strong connection here. And it's like they come in while right in the middle of you still being disappointed in love, and that just kind of throws you into a state of confusion. It's like, what? So I have the Queen of Wands under the Five of Wands. This is your energy, Sagittarius. This is Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. This is your reading. This is under your energy of the Five of Wands, all the stress and the confusion and anxiety. But you are holding this staff here of fresh starts and new beginnings. It sits right next to the Five of Cups. And I think this is what you're confused about is I think you're kind of feeling like you do want to move forward with this soulmate, which, you know, might have Gemini in their chart. But you're very passionate. You're a passionate person. Male or female? All the cards are male or female. It's the energies that are most important. Now, this person here, this Queen of Wands, might have a love of gardens and animals or nature, something like that. Might work with gardens or nature. Might have a garden. Might have pets. But holding that staff in new beginnings, you're very confused about doing that because I don't think that you've been out of a very disappointing relationship for very long. So on the other side of the Five of Cups is the Seven of Cups. There's that confusion in the cups right here. The cups is right above there. You're trying to figure it out. Like, can I do this? You feel the pull. This is definitely a strong connection. But all these cups have something else in them. This is why those relationships have failed. If you're trying to figure it out, this is why past relationships haven't gone anywhere, is because all these cups, they don't have room for love. There's always something else in those cups. So that's very confusing, especially when, like this one here, it's just like, pick me, pick me. And you really shouldn't, because that cup is full of something else. It's very confusing. You're trying to deal with that. You're trying to figure it out. But I think you're going to turn around. You're going to see the hope in this relationship because you're right next to the Queen of Wands, holding that staff of fresh start. So new beginnings is just kind of the start of this relationship here with your divine, your lover from another life. It's stressful. It's confusing. I just don't think there's been a lot of time between them and your previous relationship. I have the Hermit right below the Queen of Wands. This is the card for Virgo. So Virgo might be strong in your chart, might be strong in somebody else's chart around this reading. But more importantly, this is about seeking advice from the universe about what path do you take forward. Okay? The Hermit here is shining a lantern. They hear you. They want to show you your path forward. It's right below the Queen of Wands, wanting to move forward, but you're confused about, making the right decisions on doing that. Right besides the Hermit is the Two of Pentacles. You want something that's grounded. I mean, you're looking at these spilled cups. That relationship, whatever it is that just tipped over your cups not too long ago, it wasn't grounded. It was like a roller coaster ride. I got ships bouncing around on the water, on the ocean out here. It's like you were going through this, oh, this is, could really work out. This is a really beautiful relationship. And then the next day it's like, oh man, what is going on here? So yeah, it was a roller coaster ride. And it did have something to do with commitment and stability, security, and getting, level, balanced. So, next to the Two of Pentacles is the King of Wands. I think this is the energy of your lover. Okay, up here. Might not be a lover yet, but they're coming in as a lover, a divine soulmate, someone that you were lovers with in another life. But they're holding the staff of fresh starts and new beginnings. They have their hand on their hip and they're ready to move forward. Maybe that's why you're so stressed and confused. Maybe they want to move forward a little faster than you do because I feel like you're still getting something behind you here. The King of Wands. There's a lot of passion. I got the Queen and King. I think there's going to be a lot of passion between the two of you. Male or female? They're all male or female. Oh gosh. Let's see if you turn around. Let's see if you see the hope in this relationship. Take out the second half of this reading for our Sagittarius. Well, yeah, see, you're still healing. And this person comes in, okay? So let's start up here in your highest energy. I have the Six of Wands. This is a card of success. Success in love. It's right next to the Queen of Cups. All these wands coming up in the background are people celebrating your success. That wreath there symbolizes engagement a lot of times. But you're going to have success with this person. You've been through a spiritual lesson. I have this Judgment card sitting right next to the Six of Wands. This is your guardian angels and spirit guides. And look, they're trying to bring you together with your former lover from another life, but you had to learn a spiritual lesson first. And that's exactly what you were doing here. That's why your cups were spilled. It's a lesson of sorts. I don't know exactly. Sometimes I could see what the lesson is. And I don't know. It just seems like this particular relationship was very unstable, you know. But there they are, blowing the horn down on you. And you're awakening. You're learning a spiritual lesson here. And I think that's what's allowing, I think that's why they're bringing in this divine soulmate. Right next to the Judgment card is the Page of Swords. You have your sword up now. I don't think your sword was ever up. I think you just brought it up, and finally you're in self-protection mode, and you're like looking for the things that are good for you, and really paying attention to whether somebody, you know, serves your needs or not. You're not swinging it. You're just being self-protectant. So I think it's right next to the Judgment card. I think that's what they wanted you to do, is just be more careful in choosing your relationships, be more aware of personalities, things like that. So under the Six of Wands, I have the Eight of Wands. Communication. This is what's going to help. You're very confused about love at the beginning of this reading. And there's going to be a lot of communication. This is like texting, phone calls, emails, Zoom, Skype, video chat, whatever, but through the airways, back and forth, back and forth. I think this is how you get to know each other. This is going to be because you're not really jumping on the fact that somebody is in front of you, you have a strong connection for. You're more on guard about that, and you want to be sure that this person is right for you before you move forward. You've been going through all this healing, deep healing, spiritual healing, right under the Judgment card. Right next to all this communication, I think it's going to be very helpful. All this communication with this new lover, well, old lover from another life, new lover in this life coming in. This is, you know, so deep, this healing. It's seeing your own reflection bounce back at you, and you're like, remembering who you are to the bare essence, the bare bones of who you are. So that is very deep, very spiritual healing going on here. And it's all because of these spilled cups here in the middle. You're going to learn to turn around. That's what's going to happen here. I have the Eight of Cups under the Page of Swords next to the Star, the healing card. Oh, also, I wanted to point out, this star is the card for Aquarius. So Aquarius might be strong in your chart, might be strong in somebody else's chart around this reading. And then I have the Eight of Cups. And this is walking away from love, turning your back on love. It's all part of your healing. We have the Seven of Cups. They all have something else in them. Now we have the Eight of Cups. This is part of your healing, is being able to leave these past energies behind. Remember, the Five of Cups is right in the middle of your reading. So you're looking at the spilled cups. You are going to turn around. You are going to move. You're going to look the other way from the spilled cups, and you're going to walk towards cups that are upright and can hold a lot of love. So we got the King and the Queen of Cups in this reading, I just noticed, because under all this communication is the King of Cups. Water energy, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer might be strong in your chart, might be strong in somebody else's chart around this reading. This is the energy of this is like the cup. It's like you grabbed one of those cups. See the blank spot here? It's like you grabbed one of those cups and you're just like, you're not letting them get all your love. You're hanging on to a big old cup of it, but you're hanging on to it. You're holding it very close to your body here. So when the right person comes along, you will hand it out. You have a lot of love to share. But this person, I mean, it's going to be passionate. And you're both going to want to move forward together. And you're going to be able to hand this cup of love out. There's going to be a lot of love. I got the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. It's like you're two minds of the same here. It's like you're a twin flame, and it's almost like you're on the same wavelengths in your thinking with this person. If this sounds like your reading, it probably is. If it does not sound like your reading, it probably is not. And I would check moon sign, because your moon sign is your emotional side. So next to the King of Cups, pulling back that cup of love, you did that because of the Five of Pentacles. Feeling abandoned, left out in the cold, rejected. That's hurtful. So you pulled back that cup of love. You went through this process of healing. It's all been a spiritual lesson. You turned your back through all that healing on that, all that confusion here in love. Your cups being tipped over here, the overall energy. There was toxic energy in this past relationship. And what you're doing here in this spiritual lesson, and by walking away and doing all this healing, is you're saying goodbye. Goodbye. See that? To toxic energy. There might have been a third party when this card comes out. Might have been an addiction. There might have been something else involved in your relationship that took it down. But whatever it was, you're leaving it behind. You're turning your back on it, and you're walking. What? You did walk away. You're healing. You have a divine lover, soulmate coming in. And your guardian angels and spirit guides have been a big part of your life, whether you knew that or not. And they still are. Let me take out one more card for this reading. The Ten of Cups. You know, there's so much love. Remember I said there's going to be a lot of love between the two of you? Now we have the Ten of Cups, and it lands right on the Queen of Cups. You know, trying to dissect the love, trying to figure it out, you know, the feelings. This is sunshine and rainbows. There's going to be an exchange of lots of love between both of you. This is a family situation. It can involve commitment, and it's sitting right on the Six of Wands, which is a card for engagement. I think this is the one right here. And I think they just come in at a time where you're still finishing your healing. It's almost like they should have waited a little bit longer to enter your life, but for whatever reasons, the universe knows what they're doing. Your guardian angels and spirit guides are bringing them in now. And, you know, they might be a part of your healing, and that might be why they're coming in, is to help you finish healing. So, wow, Sagittarius, this was your reading. Thank you for watching Universal Guidance Tarot.